Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts, Stocks, and Crypto TA live stream. It is Sunday, October 15, 2023, just after 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the afternoon. Welcome, everybody, to this live stream where I review and forecast stock charts and crypto charts. This is an educational analysis live stream. Yes, global news first. Yes, the Israel-Hamas war continues and the horrific damage escalates. We also have USA stock market earnings season continuing this week. It officially starts this week. It's a big deal. We'll get to the other news in just a moment. It's going to be finance, airlines, and the start of technology stocks earnings this week with Charles Schwab, Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, United Airlines, the big tech, Netflix and Tesla, Morgan Stanley, Alaska Air, American Airlines, AT&T, American Express, Philip Morris, and more companies. Economic data this week: manufacturing index, retail sales, core retail sales, unemployment claims, and Fed Chair Powell speaks again. US SEC did not appeal the court's decision that supports GBTC Bitcoin ETF application. And what that means is there's one less door, one less hurdle that's blocking the grayscale GBTC. Right? This should be grayscale GBTC Bitcoin ETF application. That doesn't mean that the SEC cannot deny it. It just means that the court's decision supports that application. Now, Israel also, this was interesting to discover in the news. It's actually related to crypto. It turns out that Israel seized Hamas's cryptocurrency wallets last week. So there has been cryptocurrency funding in this war. So that might have some effect on the cryptocurrency market in the future, depending on what happens to those wallets and funds. So something to just know. Now, let's get started here with stocks. First off, with the S&P 500, remember 2 weeks ago, I was talking about this oversold right here, this blue line. The oversold blue supports that bullish divergence play, and lo and behold, just about 1 week later, that swing trading, the first target was hit of about 2%. It didn't quite go to 4%, but if you use the gaps tool here on TradingView, you see we hit this purple. I just turned it purple color, but we hit the purple gaps fill and then literally tested it 2 times and then sold off from it. Now, so to me, this trade is basically over and we're going into earnings season right now. We played off of that support and bounced off. Now, next, the long term, we're still in the downtrend. Low, high, low. Is this going to be our lower high? We just back tested the bottom of this symmetrical triangle here. So 2 scenarios that I have. The bullish scenario, if earnings are good, because JP Morgan had good earnings. We'll see if the rest of the banks had good earnings or not. If this establishes a higher low anywhere above 422 or 424, this could turn into an upside down head and shoulders to the upside. And we're just going to watch out for that, right? If this higher low above 429 and then try to get up to about 430, 440. Now, the bearish scenario is, wait a second, what about this downtrend channel? Now, it could be interpreted in many different ways, right? If we have a down leg, earnings are bad, then the downtrend will continue. We lose this 1 year long support line down here. That's big trouble, big problem for the market. But if it's consolidating like this, we backtest 426 and then 3 months from now we're up. It's just a consolidation period pattern, just like February of this year. So I'm watching for the breakout of the highs. Watch out for that. Now, going to NASDAQ, QQQ is very similar. Hit that resistance on the top side of that descending triangle here in this dotted line. Rejected down. Remember, support plays. Gotta love those, right? We don't buy up here. I don't buy up here. This is just educational. I don't buy up here. I buy down here. Why? Because it's safer. Safer support level. Bounces off those support levels. This is third time, basically. So third time, it's down here. Support, stop loss at 1.5%, and we see it go up 5%. That was a perfect 4-to-1 play or 2-to-1 play if somebody just wants to get out there early. Easy. Now, the problem is this was a W double bottom. It should have went 4%, which it basically almost did. Now it's back testing this gap fill. Same thing with S&P 500. If this holds, it actually could launch us higher to 383 or maybe 387 area. The inverse is true. This was technically a descending triangle pattern. And if it was going to drop, we have to get back down to 354. So again, higher lows is the big question mark right now, meaning the stair step up pattern. Dow Jones right here, right away. Is this not a upside down head and shoulders? Okay, I know we're going to earnings, so there's still considerable amount of risk. But at the same time, if I measure this, 2% from the neckline breakout brings me back up to 345. Double that target, which is 4%, 352 area right on the top side. So just very carefully watching for this area. Right now it's in a larger kind of wedge pattern, right? So we're going to see that oversold, and then remember the momentum was building. On the H4, it's starting to just barely, on the shorter term EMA is up cross on a 1226, and on the 5200 H1, we're just barely hanging on to that up cross, right? So we want to see that happen. And it's really earnings dependent. We just hopped up back above the 200 EMA, see if we can go higher. Russell 2000, yes, we do have this death cross here. However, on the IWM, it's still right at a level of support, right here, 169.49. And this MACD histogram is bullish. See if we could get a bounce up. It is in the zone of the support zone. If I extend this to the left, you can see it. This is a significant level of support, 170. Now, what I'm watching to see is double bottom, yes or no. Meaning this blue support above 170. Double bottom, yes or no. Will it get to 176? Will it get to 184 up here? That's what I want to see. 4% maximum breakout for now. And we're going to watch if that support holds, yes or no. Gold had a nice gap up. And this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes that MACD histogram just works really well with certain assets. And remember, just psychologically, unfortunately, with the wars going around the world right now, natural disasters, climate change, earnings, if people are going to do two things, they're going to sell, go back to cash, or they're going to go into safe haven assets. Gold is one of those safe haven assets. So low, high, lower, low, bunch of gap downs. This looks like exhaustion selling if you know your candle patterns. Then we had a Morningstar triple candle pattern down here, oversold conditions. MACD histogram is bullish. Buy. Educational example down here. Not buy up here because it's too high already. You buy it down here or maybe the first gap up and you know, oh, this thing's going up, right? Beautiful 4-to-1 play. Now on shorter term time frames, this is way overbought on shorter term time frames, so I'm not going to try and chase that myself. Right? This is the stair step pattern I'm talking about. Up, down, high, low, higher, high. So then where's the higher low? Somewhere down here, 176.70, and see if we can touch that. We might get another gap up because the news just keeps getting worse, unfortunately, but at least the price is above the 200 EMA on the weekly. And right here, the weekly turned into a giant evening star reversal. Weekly hammer candle, powerful. Let's quickly just review. Go back to SPY right now. Another weekly hammer candle. NASDAQ, another Morningstar pattern, which is supposed to be bullish. Dow Jones, a hammer candle on the weekly. Beautiful. IWM, no hammer candle yet. So we just saw gold. Silver, hammer candle, beautiful. Copper doesn't have that. Almost had it, not quite. So, as an investor, just having patience and a little bit of courage in the market, okay? Because if I buy when there's very good news in the market, then it's probably too late, right? You kind of have to buy on a technical signal, and it depends on, yes, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. It's very terrible what's happening. Business still continues, though. Global business still continues in other parts of the world. So we're seeing SOV. We hit that support level of 1890. 1890, that was a previous level support. We could have went all the way down to 1840, but we had 2 hammer candles on oversold conditions. That's a buy, buy, buy. Now copper, or it was a buy, buy, buy. Now we're hearing that resistance. It could keep going higher. It's not even in the overbought extreme area on the H4. See if the support holds on Monday and Tuesday, 2067, to try to get the higher high. Copper, it's still in a downtrend. Unfortunately, we lost that. So that's what I'm saying, right? If we lose support, then it's time to short. Okay. I remember that quote. Just keep it simple. If I lose support, price support, maybe it's time to short the market or short the asset. And in this case, it was true. Very true. Almost a 4-to-1 play. Beautiful. So copper right now in its downtrend, weekly still in the downtrend, and the H4 and the H1 is not even oversold, so it could crash more before it gets extremely oversold. Take a quick pit stop to the US dollar index. Yes, we're still in this golden up cross, which is good, meaning it's still bullish continuation. We had this pullback correction down to 105.75 and a nice bounce right now. Right? We saw this overbought bearish divergence signal here, and that's why with the shooting star we pulled back. Also, another way to play this could have been, like I was drawing last time, you draw one trend line on the bottom side, and then I understand what's happening with the price. I could even draw the top one, box it in, and now we're back testing the bottom of this resistance, highlighted in blue. Back testing the bottom of that resistance right now. So 2 things are going to happen with the dollar. Either scenario 1, which is bearish, is we pull back down to 105, meaning this is the end of the this leg of the uptrend, possibly. That's the bearish scenario. Bullish scenario is if all assets are about to go up for a week or 2 on amazing earnings, could pull back and then try to blast back up here to 108. Or boost up here to 108, I should say. Okay? We're just watching out for that. 2 targets. Fibonacci can also, or just actually pivots can be the easy target, like right here, 107.58 or 109. Okay? Those are the 2 that I'm looking at. Now, also looking at the VIX. The VIX, remember, when it gets down to this $12, $13 range, there is potential area for this uptrend. And volatility. We have volatility, in the market. But, right, if VIX is going up and the actual S&P 500 is also going up, it just means that there's a lot of money flying around in the market. Okay, because sometimes if we're going to get a continuation high, low, this volatility is basically because of war news, unfortunately, all of this, right? So if it keeps going higher, I might see theoretically, it should pull back, but it doesn't have to always do that. Just understanding where it is. Meaning, is the volatility going down? Actually, it's kind of going up, which makes sense right now. All right, since we got tech earnings coming up, let's quickly look at XOK and XLF. Let me erase all this. So this is the tech earnings sector ETF, XLK, or technology sector, I should say. High, low, high, low, high, low. We've been uptrending for 1 year straight and for about 3 months now, we've been downtrending. So remember, I called this as well, this bullish divergence. And 2 weeks ago on my Twitter X, I released my watch list, which were half tech and half crypto, right? So this is what I was talking about. Right? I don't always release a watch list publicly, but when I see a setup like this, as well, there's a double bottom here. So there could have been a potential green long play, and there was on many tech stocks. But we're going right into earnings. So those positions are closed. I don't hold through earnings unless there's a really, really good reason for me to do so, right? So all I'm saying is we've been in the downtrend. And again, this could be just some kind of weekly consolidation before it tries to go higher. We did hit this maximum level of 171. So now we're stuck between 171 and 162. And I'm curious to know, is this actually going to either fall back down or just actually continue up? Meaning, is this going to come back down or is this going to just be a flag play and then bounce on good earnings? So that's what I'm watching out for. It just temporarily rejected down from that ceiling, but the daily is not even in any extreme overbought area for now. XLF, finance sector ETF, also been in a downtrend. So here's a quick example about trend. Are we going up or are we going down for now? Medium term trend, time length, because I'm a swing trader investor. Long term, the ultimate investor, somebody could say, well, it's kind of just going sideways. That is true as well. So if you zoom out, which is a very useful tool to do, wise thing to do when you're investing, just zoom out, because I could get fooled by zooming in here and say, oh, it's downtrend, so I'm not going to buy it. But if you zoom out, you say, wait a second, this thing's at support. Support, 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 support bounce. We just had it 10 days ago. And bank earnings are starting. We had this nice pivot off of JP Morgan Chase, positive, good earnings. And again, a higher low, question mark right here, a higher low, and see if it bounces up to 35 or even up to 33. Now, the risk reward is a little bit higher right now because we're going to earnings, but the support is 3% to the downside, and it's quite a long ways to get a 6%, a 2-to-1 ratio. So, like I said, it's better to buy always at near the bottoms and then let it ride if I'm an investor. Let the stop loss ride up, trailing stop loss. Now, let's just take a quick look at real estate. So real estate here, we had the loss of the support, XLRE. Construction noise outside. But XLRE, we have this, again, this giant symmetrical triangle. Lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high. And where's it going to stop? Right? Could it boost up to 35, rally up? Sure it can. Possible upside down head and shoulders, just like Dow Jones? Maybe, if this is real. 5.5%, take us back to 36, 34. That's what I want to see. And the level of support, $33 down here, is our final level in the sand. Okay, just quickly looking at Netflix and Tesla. Netflix, unfortunately, has been in a downtrend. It broke out of its 1.5 years uptrend. I remember somebody asked me about this, I believe, last year, maybe? About what's going to happen with Netflix. Somebody asked me I think it was a year ago. And I said, as long as we're still in the uptrend in Netflix, no reason to sell as an investor, right? High, low, high, low, high, low, high, high. But when you have these downtrends, that's where it gets kind of scary, right? In the market as an investor, what is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? So that's why it takes some time to establish that trend. If this breaks down and reject down, then I know, downtrend, sell, or I would have sold way back here or somewhere here if I was, up in that profit. If it keeps going up, like it does like this, higher, higher, low, and you go up, then some kind of extreme like an RSI bearish divergence, I would sell on that. Now, where is it right now is extend these lines out. We lost that channel. This is the first time since April 2022 that we fell out of this channel. Netflix is in trouble right now, the price at least. It was in a descending triangle pattern. which the measured move for this was 13%, is a lot. 13% to downside. We hit the first target actually, right on the dot. Now, if Netflix has really bad earnings, it could drop another negative 13%. And just something to think about earnings. Yes, there's EPS earnings per share, there's net revenue, but also the news about subscriber account, shared accounts, new content coming down the pipeline, and any changed features in the subscription plans, etc. Right? What kind of content are they doing? Because it's kind of the same content. Just want to watch out for that because this is significant. Now, the inverse is true. If they had amazing earnings, this thing could immediately go back to 406. So, probably going to watch that very closely this week. Tesla as well. Tesla kind of riding this trend line that has been a previous level of resistance, broke out of that. And that's just kind of going sideways, right? Just kind of going sideways. And it could be another continuation play, right? We had this one in the blue here previously, earlier this year. We might have another one. But it is making lower lows for now. So if earnings are bad, this goes immediately down to 205 price. And if earnings are good, probably 295 to 308. That's what I'm looking at. All right, let's move over. Let's move over to crypto right now. I don't see any requests. Hello and welcome everyone. This is the cryptocurrency section of my live stream where I talk about crypto charts and TA. If you have a crypto request, just go ahead and let me know in the live chat or the YouTube comments for next week. And I'll gladly look at your chart request for educational analysis. Total. What's going on with TOTAL? Now, we're still in this type of just barely hanging on here. Why am I saying that? Right, you draw this trend line. Let's use extended for this. Extended trend line. Right here, extended trend line. We draw under that trend line. Okay, and it's just barely hanging on to that support. Now the top side here, the top side support, almost turning into an ascending triangle. Almost, right? So high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, lower high, lower low. So technically right now, we're just barely inside of this kind of area, right? Double bottom, high, low, lower high. So it's consolidating inside of a longer term ascending triangle. So I am not totally 100% giving up on crypto. I will know there's a problem on crypto when we lose this support line, when we lose the $1 trillion market cap. I should make an alert on that, right? Click Alt A, and I want this to go, maybe do a little higher so I get the trillion in there. 1.00 and 1 trillion market cap cross. Right, so that's very important to know is when is it crossing the $1 trillion level. The upside down head and shoulders kind of failed a little bit because of the negative news that happened last week for the last 1 or 2 weeks. The only positive news right now is the Grayscale GBTC potential ETF, because there's about 17 or 15% markup potential or discounted potential between other Bitcoin ETFs and GBTC price itself, right? So you want to just watch out for that. If this is going to hold good, it better hold strong, right? And again, is this turning into some kind of consolidation when it goes sideways before we break out? Maybe. That's why I'm not totally giving up on it. Yeah. This applies to Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin almost had that in terms of the uptrend. Didn't quite happen, but at the same time, we didn't completely crash. It's okay. If you're a long-term investor, you know, it's kind of okay. It's not the ideal scenario where it goes sideways like this. It could be weak in terms of the descending triangle, right, in the short term. So if this is actually true, let's look at the bearish scenario one time. Let's say things going bad for a long time, it could drop down negative 20% down to $20,000. That's what we don't want to see. Right? 32,000, 25,000. We're just stuck between these three levels and we already lost this uptrend. It's kind of like Netflix. Does that make sense? It should have been high, low, way up here, 37, 40,000. That did not happen. We went sideways. We're stuck inside of this parallel channel. Only two prices that matter for me as an investor is $25,000 Bitcoin and then $32,000 Bitcoin. Maybe the middle half line in terms of 28. I'll leave that there as well. $28,000 Bitcoin. That's all that matters. And if we have a bearish breakdown or bullish breakdown, those are only two levels that really matter on the price for me right now, because it's turning to a consolidation rectangle going sideways. Now, the news that happened last week and for past 2 weeks in October, it's been bearish. And typically October's been a sell month, and historically, because I don't know what it is, just people, by the time they get around to August, September, October, people are just tired of the market and they want a fresh new start this next year. And usually in winter, people turn more bitter and bearish. It's cold. You just don't feel good about things in the market, right? Just psychologically. So that's why it's kind of going sideways. There's not much going on. So we have to wait for this SEC, wait for any more crypto specific news. Hopefully we get bullish news. Now on the weekly chart, check the candles. Weekly, the only thing that was, we had that double bottom here above 25.2K and see if that's going to hold or not. On the daily, switching back, we're still under the 200 EMA. We have to break above that. So we have to break it, hold above 27,000. Okay, this actually an H4 chart, but we can see that the MACD histogram is up. So I kind of like this when it goes, when you have momentum and it's going sideways, that might preclude a rally to the upside to 28,000. So that's why Bitcoin crypto is still on my watch list. Thank goodness we didn't have a market crash. Would have been horrible. We had a correction pullback. We did not have a crash though. We didn't have capitulation sell off, everybody panicking like a COVID-19 crash. That's good. But for now, we're stuck between these two levels on Ethereum, 15.29 and 17.49. And again, unfortunately, we lost the support level. So it's not perfect setup. It's yellow light for me, orange light, almost turning red light, because if this doesn't survive and rally back inside of here to 1700, there's a problem. It could rally to 16 and then pull back down to even 13. So everybody just be aware of that on the charts, it's not looking super bullish right now. We just lost the bullish momentum in the past couple of months because of SEC lawsuit. So we need to watch out for that. That's why I'm not the type of trader to keep getting afraid of things. But when I say watch out, it's on my watch list. Meaning I'm keeping an eye on it. If the price keeps dropping, then how am I going to continue to buy this or hold on to this, right? If it keeps downtrending, I have to get out of here sometime. I already reduced my crypto position last week because of what's happening around the world right now. Now, Binance USDT. Fortunately, Binance still in the lawsuit. Thank you for the follow right now. Binance right now still right here inside of a gigantic, large descending triangle, right? So either the support is going to hold or it's not. Support's going to hold or it's not. Okay, so that's why it's very simple. This is a very intense, large descending triangle. So just using, it's like it could drop negative, quote unquote, negative 99%, but right, a more reasonable is negative 50%. That's actually reasonable. I don't want it to happen, but it could drop down to these levels. If we Fibonacci from all-time lows, we go weekly for that. Right? The 618 is not holding. So 150, 84, 85, these are the levels where it could downtrend. These are the levels. Okay. Now, let's go to Solana. Solana just barely hanging on here. Sometimes like just put up a Fibonacci, easy. Now, this is starting to look like an ascending triangle. a little bit. If you know your patterns. Wait a second. Solana, what are you trying to do here? The ascending triangle. Wow, is it actually going to blast up, rally up 85% to 166%? We'd love to see that. We'd love to see that. There's no rhyme or reason why it has to do that. It's just if it doesn't go down anymore, I like this. It's kind of going up. All right. So we're going to have that super breakout. Yes or no? Cardano. Now, Cardano, the only thing is we've had an insane, a very large, it's not insane, but a very large negative 92% downtrend. And we're just trying to barely hold this level of support above 24 cents. So it looks like 22 to 24 cents is our support liquidity level. And if this holds, why I like this scenario is where's the next, if you just box in like that, where's the next level up? It's 63% range in the rectangle, right? So if I happen to buy this long, right, you need a much tighter stop loss than that. Sometimes you got to type it in here. Stop level at 0.22. Let's say something like that, 10% stop loss with 10% capital. And then if I target the 60% up here, that's a 6-to-1 play. I might do that because it's getting suspiciously right down here. There's some kind of MACD histogram that's building. I mean, if I am confident in this, which I am, it's not. The only thing is this is not oversold, so it can keep going down like one more time, and then that's the final area, and then I need to buy that. So that's why I'm just really keeping an eye out on that on Cardano. XRP. See, we'll do a couple more here, and then the stream will be done. XRP, just holding on to that trend line. I'm on a weekly chart. You see this? Barely holding on, and we just lost that support. Now, it used to be an ascending triangle. So that's why. Ascending triangles in Bitcoin right now are not 100% reliable. So the Solana one might not ever happen, right? Because if XRP had this huge of a ascending triangle and then it just crashed back down into the inside, it's not really confident, right? This is an evening star pattern. It's bearish anyways. So what I'm concerned about on this here is, all right, well, how far is it going to drop down? Just below that 618 level, I'm looking at 43 cents and 36 cents. Check the oscillators. Not oversold. We are still in the death cross. We just got the death cross. That's bad. Still here in the H4. Downtrending. And the only thing surviving is maybe like a 15-minute chart. So it looks like day traders, they have to start the ball moving in terms of trying to buy this thing and saving it. Bounce back over to Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash as well, just going sideways. Clean up the chart here. Right on the support level in the short term, support level as well. So this level right here, 208, needs to hold. Needs to hold, see if we can get up to 250 as the target, bullish target. Now, if I lose this, again, it's a good lesson because we've seen here it's been going high, low, high, low, high. Sideways, right? Basically going sideways. That's why I had the box. The downside is right here at 185. So it's relatively neutral RSI, 45 RSI. Sometimes I'll turn on the moving average in here. It's still below moving average as well on the RSI. So we need to see that support hold. XLM USDT, stellar. Still below trendline resistance. Still below right here. Actually above the support. Below resistance, above the support. In terms of the Fibonacci, still below the 618. So support, 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 support. I kind of like this play again because it's at the support level. If this was up here, I don't want to buy it up here. No. For me, I know. That's a risky strategy. Breakout plays sometimes is not the bottom. And if you don't time the bottom right, you're going to get a lot of losses, right? So I like to buy the bottom. Again, might need a larger stop loss. Swing trading 7% to 10% is not unnatural. It's okay. Smaller capital, and then I target maybe 20% or 18% right in the 618 right here, and just kind of wait for that. How long is it going to take? Last time this leg took 14 days, 11 days. This large green one took 2 days. This large rally, 2 weeks. That's why swing trading, you're usually holding for like a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month if you're in really early. Let's see if that happens or not. Next, let me check the comments. It's a Sunday here in America. I'm sure people are just trying to do other things. Get their mind off the world. Okay, I think I'll end this by doing rapid fire on the rest. In terms of lightning round, I mean. So AVAX trying to hold a higher low. Let me just hide all this. Look at a line chart. AVAX trying to hold the higher low. DOT making lower lows. Dogecoin also making lower lows, but we are not quite at the oversold level. Shiba Inu making lower lows. Matic trying to hold the support level. Atom trying to hold the higher low support level. Near making lower lows. Litecoin with the potential upside down head and shoulder, but also making lower lows. Here's an example of two patterns that kind of got messed up. So this was trying to hold this upside down head and shoulders. It's trying. And we should have that neckline breakout if this was real uptrend. But no, we had a double top, right? So sometimes the most recent pattern is the more accurate pattern if you're trying to swing trade, right? Negative 8%, didn't quite get down there. So it could try to get to the negative 8% level, which is back down here to $58, right? Gonna see if that's true or not. Uni making lower lows. Chainlink is the only one, but still making lower lows off its relative rejection. Tron getting rejected from resistance. Bitcoin Cash trying to maintain a higher low. Ethereum Classic testing support on the price. Algo trying to maintain higher lows or testing its lows. We already went over Stellar, but testing its support level. VeChain trying to maintain a higher low. Mana trying to maintain a higher low on the price bounce. Filecoin got rejected down by a double top, trying to hit the higher low. HBAR with the potential support play. I kind of like this, even though the coin is not my favorite, but I like to see bullish divergence like that, right? Yeah, you basically have a support play here. So HBAR maybe. Here 5%, try to capture that 10%. Waves, trying to make lower lows. EGLD, bouncing off supports. I like this. For now, it's not my favorite coin, but I like how it's actually bouncing up there. So, okay, fine. It's going to continue. It needs to break out above $25. Phantom, lower lows. AXS, trying to maintain a support level. XTC, trying to bounce off support level, which is down here at 64 cents. 8 making lower lows. AVE, trying to maintain higher highs, but it lost that, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Once you become a more experienced and knowledgeable at technical analysis, you just go rapid fire like this. Because there's certain patterns or setups that I buy and that I play. Everything else I ignore or set alerts. If it's not ready to go, I just pass on it. I don't need to waste my time looking at 500 charts. So, meaning, or the other way to think about it is I don't need to buy everything all at once at the same time. It's not like that. I buy what are good setups and I skip the rest. If it's not ready to go, it's not ready to go. Zcash testing its lower low. Like support here. IOTA deep into support zone from last time, right? 1430, 14 cents area. Maker with the higher low. This is what I'm saying. If it's making higher lows and higher highs, okay. That's fine. See if this is going to hold, right? And 1778 on the upside. GRT, higher low. Let's see if that holds. I like this double bottom play. Zilliqa as well. It's like Bitcoin as well. We almost had this side down here and shoulders, but double top rejection off bad news. One making lower lows. A slightly better way to look at this is on the weekly as well, because if it's ready to go on the weekly, I might buy it, but it is actually not. So here's a good example of, let's say, a typical crypto scenario, and we're gonna wrap up soon. Is I see a coin like this. This is what it's below 1 cent. Cheap coin. It's in Satoshis basically. Below 1 cent. Okay. When I look at this on the weekly, is this coin right now at this point in time? Is it going up? Trend. Is it going sideways trend? Or is it going downtrend? If I'm just 100% honest with myself, break it down into 4 lines. This is uptrend, uptrend, right? That's an uptrend. This is sideways trend, also called consolidation. Basically, when you're it's better if I put it at the top. It's going sideways at the top. And then when it starts going down, that's just, downtrend after a period of time. It's easier to see in a long-term weekly. So then if I look at it like this, if it's still in the downtrend and there's no extreme evidence that's showing me it's going up, I'm not interested in buying this. I'm just not interested, because if we need the higher low, we almost had it this year. That's why a lot of crypto traders were all excited about crypto this year, because a lot of cryptos are like, finally, are we going to get this higher low so we could get out of here and go higher? And the answer is, unfortunately, no. Not yet. And why did it go down? This is SEC lawsuit. Government suing crypto exchanges right here. So then when you look back in history, why did we go up on this side? Because the pandemic is the first time this ever happened in modern human history. We all shut down and locked down. Do you all remember that? We're all still alive from that. That was unprecedented. And then everything turned digital in that time period, right? Everything went digital. We're all on Zoom video call. It almost feels like a dream at this point, or a nightmare. But we were all on Zoom calls. Everybody's streaming. Everybody's on Discord. Everybody's on Reddit, Wall Street Bets. And we're all at home just all looking at the computer screens and phone screens. And then everything turned digital, right? But then as soon as the pandemic ended, this all markup, we don't need this anymore. People said, oh, we don't need this anymore. Price is too high. Bitcoin 65,000, crypto. We had major sell-off signal, and it went sideways for too long. And then we crashed out of that support level. Then after the pandemic was over, we don't need vaccines as much anymore. We don't need digital anymore. We don't need to stay on our computers, live streams anymore, and everything's going down. And then we had the lawsuit, and that's the final, like, wow, it's not happening right now. The rally, we're not going up for now. We are honestly going down. So when somebody hears me, when I say, oh, I'm going long on something, I'm not expecting it to go 500% up this year. It could, but I'm just not expecting it yet. When swing traders in a downtrend are buying, we're playing the small pops up. It's actually better just short down this whole year, right? This whole year, we're looking at 2023 between the two bars. On this one coin, on futures, if I had Binance futures, it's closed off to Americans, but right? Do I want to long this or short this? I would have shorted this thing down right here in May, June. And you could take a profit now because it's at a support level. So we could have a bounce, is what I'm saying. Bounce up to where, though? Are we going back up 1,000%? No. Where could it bounce to? The next level resistance. Just right here at 13 or 1,400. Then maybe if it gets real good, 26. That's a very large amount of increase, though. right? Like 100, 200%. But if somebody understands trend, that's how you keep yourself out of big trouble. That's how you survive in the investing market for anything, stocks, crypto. Forex is the same. If the Euro USD, for example, it's related to crypto. If Euro USD is going down like this from 2000, let's see right here, 2021 to October 2022, I am not going to long that. No way. No way. Even though it's oversold, it's not time. And then when we finally had the breakout of this, actually it's interesting. It's a reverse parabola. Too bad you can't reverse that. You just have to draw it differently, right? You have to do it like this. That's how I know. We have the inverse parabola breakout finally down here, right? And then we had this move to the upside. So understanding trend here, this is what I'm talking about again, boxing it. This is an uptrend. I'll going sideways and then downtrend, right? So this is going up. This is going sideways, and then this is going down. Now, when you break out the trend, where is it going now, or where was it going? In this right here in 2000, what is this? End of 2022. Is this going down right here? No, all of a sudden we're going up. And then we keep going up a little bit. So this is all technically uptrend. Maybe somebody could call it starts consolidate, and now we're in this long down, in the short-term downtrend, right? So if it's going up like this, why am I going to short it down, right? If it's that strong, if it's that powerful, I'm not going to short it down. I'm going to short it down when it gets to a maximum point. And ironically, on the daily, it was overbought here, extreme, right? Oscillators can't help. Okay, so that's why instead of people just guessing about crypto, this is why I became a technical analyst myself, is if I study the charts and I understand what is actually happening and I zoom out, that's how you can increase your chances of profitability, or at least being correct on the charts. Okay, now past results do not predict future results. So technical analysis is never 100% correct. But for me, it works. Okay, if I know how to use it right. So I'm not telling you about what to do. It's not financial advice. It's not even statistical advice, numbers. It's more just about what did I discover, what works for me, what's actually working in the market still, right? Even without indicators. Okay, so I just want to leave everyone with that piece of education and information. Again, if somebody's brand new and you're thinking, I have no idea what this guy is talking about, well, then the first thing you got to do is just figure out, are you trying to do stocks or crypto or Forex or ETFs? Or what are you trying to do, or what do you want to do? Now, next thing is need to understand the basics first. Step two would be, instead of trying to figure out like, oh, what are all these 200 tools or 100 indicators right here, right? You need to understand price first. Like, what is this green candle? What is the red candle? What was I explaining? Like, how do I know it's going up? How do I know it's going sideways? How do I know it's going down? If you study that, it took me like years to study it and kind of get good at that. But now I look at a chart and just understand right away. Oh, we're going up or down or sideways. Do I need to go long? Do I need to buy? Do I need to hold? Or do I need to sell? And the way to practice that is you can do it in paper trading here. You open up the trading panel on the bottom, activate it, connect it, and now you could trade your currency in your country. For me, it's USD. I could trade stocks and crypto. Crypto's 24/7, but it's better to trade it in market open hours, like in stock market open hours, for example. The other way to practice, if you don't have time and you can't do it in the open hours in the daytime, Monday to Friday, beautiful genius TradingView team, they created this tool, bar replay. Bar replay means you can rewind, and it's good to do on a daily chart. Rewind on this chart, you just click a spot, and then you can buy and sell 1 unit as practice, right? You play this, and let's just put it into example. Okay, I kind of just forget what I looked at over here, and I understand. All right, this was, let's see, what's the trend? Now, I like to do resistance support first, so it's okay. Resistance up here, that's a zone. We have support zone down here. There is a short-term support trend line. So I know if I lose this trend line, and I say it every single week on the stream, if I lose this trend line and the price goes down, I am going to short this thing like this. Stop loss at 3%, profit target 4 to 6%. Let's say 6% for this example. And unless it breaks out higher, it's not going to go higher probably. So let's see if that's true. Start. A little bit on the slow side. But it's good to go slow so you can actually have time to buy or sell. Let's see. Is it? We lost it. Sell, short, short, short. We lost it, right? And it's floating around here. If I get stopped out, no problem. This is first trade. Let it go. I see a little upside down head and shoulders. But then you get rejected. And I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to double down on my idea. Here we go. Tighten up my stop loss a little bit because I'm in profit. It's downtrending, right? Are we going to get rejected again below this support line? We are short again. Let's push it down. If you've been a day trader, you know this happens all the time, right? And now it's kind of bouncing back. Are we going to get this rejection or not? Lower low, right? I'm hoping for this. It could come back up, but then I want to see it crash again because we came out of that channel. In this particular case, I probably would have sold already. I would have taken my profit, but I have a much, much larger profit target down here. So let's just commit to it. If I'm wrong or right, doesn't really matter, right? It's practice. Inch hit to my stop loss. Survived. Just barely. This might have been too tight of a stop loss. Okay. Let's just pretend this is real life, right? If the profit target's too big, all right. If it was a 2-to-1 play, then I would have sold here is what I'm saying. 6-to-1 might have been too big, but 2-to-1, okay, because this is Forex. Forgot I'm doing Forex, right? The 2-to-1 makes more sense, right? So we would have sold here. That's okay. Let's pretend I got stopped out here. So I need to flatten, right? So I'm down a little bit. All right, next trade. Wait for, I still think this is going down though, right? Because it's going, we were in the uptrend, had a downtrend, had an oversold bounce. Okay, should have taken my profit here. That's totally fine. Now, again, let's keep a smaller target for this example, 2-to-1 play. And I'm looking for the next entry zone. I know this yellow line is my resistance. It's going up. Let's see, how far is it going to penetrate? If not, hesitating. I feel weakness in the market in the level 2, so I'm just going to short it now. Start my short position. It's crashing, correcting. It's good. Matching my idea. I'm shorting it again. There we go. There we go. But because I need to, in real life, I would have just not held it. I would just immediately hit my target and then just sell that. But because I have a loss here, let's try to end on a green for the day. This is regular day trading, right? Now, if I think I'm going to get another lower low, maybe a little more risky because I know when it gets down here, it's in the oversold territory. But there might be one more down leg, like 1 more percent. Let me see if I can capture that. I'm going to sell here. I'm in it. I might flatten it if it's not going to go lower. Might not hit my target. So if it's not going to hit my target, I'm just going to flatten it. I'm just going to sell out there because I know it's oversold. Man, if you trade it on 1 minute at 6:30 or 9:30 in the morning on the stock market, you know that once it gets down there, there's going to be a likely pop. So I'm just going to sell, right? So I actually made back the profits, right? So I ended on green day. This is a very small amount. We're doing Forex, but if you're leveraged here, you know, this is typical, very, you know, everyday run-of-the-mill office work, right? So I forgot we're doing Forex, so that's why. Forex, you want to tighten up because it's leverage. It's not going to go 6% on you unless you're investing, right? So let's keep going here, right? I'm still on the daily. It's just practice, right? But you understand what I did there. I managed my risk. I didn't go all in and try to make 10 times money or whatever. It's just same thing. If I had a couple of trades, 1, 2, 3, I allow myself to do 1, 2, 3, same amount of capital, same amount of risk, and then maybe play just a little bit more down here with 1 or 2 more extra trades to come out on top green. Now, the number doesn't really matter to me. It matters about, did I manage the trade right? Did I manage the entry exit points right? Did I manage my capital, my loss? Did I manage my emotions right? Did I get mad? Did I get sad? Did I start chasing? Did I get FOMO? Did I analyze things correctly? Yes or no? And just be honest with yourself, right? So we keep going here, but maybe I'll do a crypto example. Let's do like Ethereum, for example. Some people, Ethereum was hot. I'm going to try to turn the bar replay off, and I need to pick a spot. I'm just going to close my eyes, pick a spot. I need to zoom out. Just pick a random spot on the chart. Now, I don't even know where I am right now on the charts. Okay, so let's see here. All right, first thing I do is, all right, there's a resistance here. Resistance, there's support line here. So these are the two levels that I'm playing in between. And I know, oh, this kind of looks like a giant head and shoulders almost. Also, there's a trend line resistance right here. We have the smaller symmetrical triangles on the inside right here. And we also have this larger trend line. You can see I'm auto trend lining automatically. I've done this so many times. Resistance, support, what's the trend? Top resistance trend line, support trend line, short-term trend lines, and then you start zooming in. Maybe I'll zoom out as well, like, oh, we just came out from a huge rally. Now, if I do this on the extended trend line, wait a second, this is bad. This is bad. Why? 2-year trend line, I just lost that? That's bad. Very, very bad as a trader, okay? As an investor. And I know, wow, we hit the resistance here, so this is pretty powerful resistance. So then I'm already thinking, okay, if I'm going to lose this support line, maybe I'm going to short right here, okay? This looks like some kind of weird rounding top pattern. So if it's not going to bounce up to $6,000, $5,000 Ethereum anymore, maybe I'm going to short once I lose this area. And a lot of people are probably stacking their orders here. Now, this is crypto, and this is supposed to be a daily chart, right? So then there's going to be more than 2% volatility. So I might open it up to get like 20% on my on a crypto example, right? So let's just see what happens. Just let it play. So I already made my plan, managed my risk mentally in my mind. Now just see what happens with the candles. I wanted to not go above 3,300. I want to fall below 2,500 on my plan, my forecast. So now that I know that, I'm just zooming in so people can see. All right, it's logging. That's okay. That's okay. But now see, when it hits that resistance, now as a trader, I'm thinking, wait a second. All right, this thing, it's either going to blast up higher, like I always say, or it's going to pull back. So I could try to catch that short on the way down. Let's see if it's going to happen or not. All right, so I see that big candle. For example, let me just go and start the short right now. Let's go. A little hesitating. It's crypto. It could stop me out. All right, I'm going to activate another short. I think it's weak. Okay, there we go. Just having a bounce. Might not open up another short. I'm already, I would have, here, because of my target, I would have closed out maybe 50% because it's so close. I'm not going to get greedy. It's like, I don't know. How close is this? 4%, right? 4%. Close enough, right? So let's see if it's going to keep going lower or not. It might not. I'm ready to get out of here any moment now. All right, I would have sold up. Okay, close. Flatten. Get out of there. Flat to sell all, right? So we had a nice profit. I bought 1 Ethereum, or I bought 3 Ethereums. and then I sold 3 Ethereums for this some $888 profit, right? That's a lot of Ethereums, but still, you know, having this, and how long did that take in real life? That would have taken 30 days. In a day trade scenario on leverage, it would have taken like a couple hours maybe, but or even an hour if it's really volatile. So that's why, you know, it's not impossible to trade, but then there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Meaning, how could I have done this wrong, for example? Because I mean, I'm showing you how I'm doing it right, but how could somebody have done this wrong? Well, a lot of times what happens is I was playing this, and I don't memorize charts like this. I was playing this one leg like right here, right? What happens is, unless people know what they're doing and can analyze correctly, right? If somebody's doing no analysis and they're doing what I like to call like phone watch list trading, where people are looking at their phones and being like, thinking, oh, it's so green, I must buy. But then if by the time you see a ton of green on your chart, on your watch list, it's likely up here. When you see a lot of red on your chart, it's likely somewhere in the middle or down here. And so you have to be kind of a contrarian, meaning that if it's a lot of green, you might not want to long there all the time, right? If it's a lot of up and you come in at the end and you have no stop loss and you're like, why did I crash? It's because it's too late. Crypto is 3 times faster than stock market. Stock market closes 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. or 2 o'clock p.m. for futures, or for 1:30 p.m. for futures, and then it's over. There's a post market, but it's over. Everybody, you know, closes up their trade stations, goes home, or you do some post work on your charts or your trades and your logs, and you go home. You're logging. You go home, right? You log out. Crypto is on all the time, right? So that's why it's 3 times faster. You get multiple regions, right? America goes to sleep. Asia wakes up. Asia goes to sleep. Europe wakes up. Does that make sense? So you have to remember that basically. So just try. This is why I became no FOMO. Is when I first started out, is I was always buy the top, and it's like, why does that keep happening to me? Why am I doing that, right? Whereas you're supposed to buy the bottom, right? If I buy this bottom, this beautiful double bottom play, W right here, W play, double bottom, and then let it go to the next resistance. What was that? That was a 25% profit with only a 2% stop loss. That's like a negligible stop loss. Maybe somebody, if they're afraid, could do like 10% or 15%, but 10%, right? And you just have to have patience. Can I wait 3 weeks? It's going to go by faster, the time. It's going to go by fast, right? So some people, that's why. If you don't know the price patterns, right, it's a lot harder. If you don't know any indicators at all, then it's a lot harder as well. If you don't understand that this was a symmetrical triangle breakout play, I still remember this on the charts earlier this year. I said, oh, support, support, support. There, I could only buy 2 spots, buy here or buy here. Long at this yellow line and long here, that's it. And then let it go up. And again, I just know by interpreting these candles, there's a lot of experience that goes into this, but I can feel this is weakening. This is not going stronger, right? It's weakening. It's weak. Bears love weak price patterns, and we short that down because there's an invisible resistance here. I'm sure if you go left and you actually draw lines, there is significant resistance there. If you don't believe me, you also open up volume profile and be like, there's nothing up here. There's a hole right here in the volume. That's why. Hitting that as well was a pivot point. Let's see, you have to do all the pivot points. There was some kind, almost hit that pivot point. Let's see. Might have to switch it to a Fibonacci version. Right there, hit the Fibonacci right there. Again, so there's multiple reasons just from experience knowing, right? We went above the 200 EMA. RSI, if I was using it, was overbought. On the H4, it was too high. Just knowing it from just understanding. When you go low to high, something's probably too high up here. Short that thing down. Short it down. or long it when it gets down here when you get low oversold, right? There's a lot of ways to interpret it, but I would recommend people, if you're beginner, intermediate, even if you're advanced, is to just practice. Keep practicing. Paper trading, I practiced a lot. Bar replay, I practiced a lot. Study the charts, study the books, practice, practice, practice until you become greater than 50% profitable. Even in the Forex, I made, yeah, sure. Somebody could say, hey, no formal charts. You made a mistake. But you know what? I did not panic, utilized my knowledge and skills and ability, and then came out profitable, right? So this is like 2 sessions of profitable trading. If I was, let's say, up this much on day trading, it's like I could stop if I wanted to. Sometimes I do that. It's like, oh, I hit my profit target for the day. Do I really want to keep going for 5 more hours? I might, or I could take a break. It's like if I'm tired, it's like just shut off, just log out. I'm done for the day, right? So that's why. Or if I'm like, what, you know, or if I have a red day, so take a small loss, sometimes just log off. That's the best thing to do. Sometimes revenge trading can like destroy a person's account, right? So that's why it's all about managing myself. I learn about myself. I know myself pretty well in terms of what are my strengths and weaknesses in charts and trading. Came with like years and years of experience and knowledge. So, you know, I'm not trying to discourage anybody. I'm actually trying to encourage people that if you study and practice the charts, the market, your assets, stock, crypto, and you know yourself, then you might have a higher chance of success. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for today's stream. If you like the stream, if you learned something here, if you just want to support the channel or support me to keep the ideas going and the streams flowing for the rest of the year, just go and click follow on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, X, and you know, hit that like button. Hit the notification bells to get the next YouTube stream. And if you have a request or question for next stream, just go ahead and let me know in the YouTube comments, and I'll probably answer it next time. Thanks so much, everyone. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.